A day where we're seeing a bit of a green coming in for the US markets in terms of a close. The Asian markets, we have a lot that everyone's waiting for. The Bank of Japan's decision that will be coming out as well. Apart from that, Asian markets today too are following suit with what the US markets have done and have opened up in the green. So Taiwan index has opened up with gains of 1.3%. We have a Hang Seng that's holding on to gains of 0.3%. ASX 200 holding on to gains of 0.4%. And the Nikkei, which is the Japanese index, that's holding on to gains of almost 0.9% as well. So we are seeing a green start coming in for the Asian markets. US markets managed to close in the green as well, snapping that long 4-day losing streak. And now Indian markets, let's see what that's looking like. We have a good uptick that's come in, a positive start, a strong positive start today is what we're keeping an eye out on. 74-point uptick approximately is what the Nifty implied open is indicating for the Indian market. So let's hope that sustains through the day as well. But as of now, a green start is what we could be keeping an eye out on. But let's talk about how the global market actions are going to be impacting our Indian markets in terms of stocks to watch out for, trade setup for today, cues in the world of F&O. We'll keep an eye out on all of that and set you up for trade. First up, let's go across to Gaurav, who is here to tell us the key cues and events that we should be keeping an eye out on in today's trading session. Gaurav, good morning.
Well, good morning. As you suggested, if you look at Nifty as well, Nifty has been able to sustain at 25,800 level for the last 3 consecutive days. And at the same time, even if you look at the data, it suggests that 25,750 to 25,800 is that support level. While on the other hand, on the upper side, 26,000 is something that we will be watching out for. If you look at yesterday, specifically on the sectors, Nifty IT actually outperformed, and TCS TechM actually saved the day for Nifty IT, but at the same time Nifty Media that declined almost by 1.3% intraday. So these are some sectoral indices that we will be watching out for, specifically if there is any momentum that they can continue. Apart from that, if you look at stocks, Indigo is the first stock that we should be watching out for, because yesterday we saw the stock went up almost by 2%, but after that Competition Commission of India has now launched a probe against Indigo, and that is the reason why we should be watching out on how the stock will perform. Second is Shriram Finance. Definitely today is the board meeting, and there are some talks which are going around MUFG buying 20% stake in Shriram Finance for valuation as high as $4 billion. Other than that, Dr. Lal PathLab, today is the record date for bonus issue in the ratio of 1:1. So let's watch out for this stock as well. And from the IPO markets, let's not forget about ICICI Prudential. The 10,000 crore IPO got oversubscribed, and at the same time, grey market premium suggested 15% bump on the listing itself. From the macro point of view, FX data is something that we should be watching out for, because we have already seen volatility in USD and INR, and at the same time this is something that market will also be watching out for. From the global cues, we have already seen overnight Bank of England cut interest rate almost by 25 basis points, and at the same time Bank of Japan, they will also come up with a decision on the monetary policy meeting. Expectations are 25 basis point of hike, and the interest rate will be highest in the last 30 years at 0.75%, but any surprise can actually shake the market either ways. Lastly, from the US markets, let's watch out for existing home sales data and core PCE price index. But if you look at the global cues, it looks like Nifty is set for some positive uptick on the opening of the market itself. So let's hope for that, and let's see how the market performs today.
Okay, Gaurav, thank you so much for that. But let's go across to Ria now to get the important stocks that we should be watching out for today. Good morning, Ria.
Well, good morning. Let's start off with Ola Electric. This stock will be in focus once again after the promoter, Bhavish Agarwal, has sold 2.83 crore shares of the company at a price of rupees 31.90 per share. Now, this is the third consecutive day of selling by the promoter, and they have already sold roughly 234 crore rupees worth of stake in the first 2 tranches. And the stock has also seen losses in the last 3 trading sessions. Yesterday, also, the stock closed roughly 5% lower. Moving on, HCL Tech will also be in focus. They are going to acquire the telco solutions business from HP Enterprises to further strengthen the engineering and AI-led network propositions. Now, this will be done for an amount of up to $160 million, and the transaction is expected to close within 6 months. Bharti Airtel will also be in focus. They have issued the final call on partly paid shares at rupees 401.25 per share to infuse roughly rupees 700 crores by March, and they have fixed February 6 as the record date for the share issue. The promoter Singtel, which currently holds roughly 7.49% stake in the company, has relinquished several key reserve rights. Apart from this, the company has also approved the appointment of Shashwat Sharma, who is currently the CEO designate as the managing director and CEO of the company, with effect from the 1st of January 2026. Moving on to pharma stocks will be in focus today. Lupin has signed an exclusive licensing deal with Italy's Neopharmed for its gastroenterology brand called Placil in the Philippines and Brazil, and they are aiming to expand their presence in key emerging markets as a result of this acquisition. Biocon will also be in focus. Biocon Generics Incorporated facility in New Jersey has received an EIR with a voluntary action indicated status from the US FDA following an inspection in the month of October of this year. Amber Enterprises will also be in focus. The company has planned to expand its R&D center for HVAC projects, and they are going to invest roughly rupees 500 crores in their R&D facility. Keep an eye on BLS International as well. The Delhi High Court has set aside the order of the MEA, barring it from tenders for missions in India for the next 2 years. So this is positive for the company. And lastly, Aarti Industries will be in focus. They have secured methanol and toluene feedstock supply through multiple long-term contracts with manufacturers and suppliers across GCC countries.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Riya. But finally, let's go across to Mangalam, who's here to tell us what we should be keeping an eye out on in the world of FNO. Good morning, Mangalam.
Good morning. So let's recap trade yesterday. You know, the Nifty traded in a 150-point range, but eventually closed, marginally in the red, but largely flattish. Yesterday's high and low tells you the broad range that the street was working with, 25,700 to 25,900. And where did it close? At the 50-day moving average, exactly at the 50-day moving average. And that makes today's trading session even more important. The other thing we have to monitor is whether the Nifty bank goes ahead and crosses convincingly the 20-day moving average. Yesterday, it went very close to that. 59,201 was the high. And yesterday, the 20-day moving average was 59,263. The market breadth, however, needs to improve. For 3 days in a row, we have more than 1,800 stocks which are in the red. For the previous 2 trading sessions, we saw 2,000 stocks which were in the red as well. But for the second trade session, we saw the FIs buy in cash market as well on lower gross volumes, but a buy nevertheless. So net institutional flows were positive, not much incremental sell in index futures, and at the same time the FIs bought about 2,000 crores in stock futures. So that tells you that yesterday's close at the 50-day moving average was an important close, and from here on the market may perhaps move higher. And if it does move higher and crosses past the 20-day moving average, leading with the Nifty bank, then all these shorts, which are 92% from the FIs, they will have to run for cover. For that, the Nifty has to conquer 26,000 and close above that, because 25,999 is where the 20-day moving average is. In terms of action, the street still believes that yesterday's range plays on, which is why we've seen writing at the 25,900 call and the 25,800 put. So 25,700 to 25,900 is the broad range that the street has been working with so far. A bunch of stocks on our radar this Friday morning. Out of ban, Bandhan Bank. Enters FNO ban, Samman Capital. And then come Jan series, we'll have 4 new stocks trading in FNO. Swiggy, Vari Energies, Premier Energies, and Bajaj Holdings. So all those stocks will be in focus. They start trading in FNO from Jan, but will be in focus today.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Mangalam. But